Hey guys, welcome back to the Better Mornings. Today is Wednesday, which means it's time for our special segment about unconventional career, what we call Career Wise Let's Think Unconventional, a show where we talk to people who have taken up unconventional career options and can give advice to all of those out there who want to take up something similar to them, and they can use their expertise and learn from them and then go on their journey. Now today's guest that we have is Sreeja Iyer. She is the co-founder and CEO of Sparkling Mindz, which is a game-based global school and preschool that is focused on making learning joyous and relevant for children. Now, the school believes that academic skills alone are not enough for a child to succeed in today's world. The learning is not merely about words and numbers, but it should kindle curiosity and create a sense of purpose and accomplishment in each and every child. So Sreeja is out there. She's changing the education system. Sreeja, I first want to thank you so much for joining us today. And the idea here is that we tell all the people who are watching, if they want to become educators in their life, if they want to move ahead, not just teachers, but they want to become educators in some way and go into the education system in some way or the other, how exactly can they do that, right?
Yeah.
So we'll start with the first question about your education. What did you study? Where did you work before this? What was the journey like?
Okay, so it's a long journey and I'm going to cut it short so that it can be covered.
Okay.
I'm an engineer by background.
Okay.
And I have done my MBA from Indian School of Business. I'm an electronics and communication engineer.
Right.
I worked in that field for a large number of years before I moved into doing an MBA.
Okay.
Went in to do an MBA with a very clear idea that I wanted to do something more meaningful and purposeful in my life. And I found my purpose in education. I found my purpose in working towards transforming lives.
Okay.
And that is how I started Sparkling Mindz almost 11 years after I started my journey of work. In between that, there were a lot of different kinds of transitions that happened because I had the clarity that I have to do something in education. I went and did a program called Future of Learning from Harvard Graduate School of Education,
Okay.
which helped me understand how to make that vision a reality, right? I also did a program on NLP, which is a offshoot of cognitive psychology, so that helps you understand how people think and how to help shape the thoughts and work towards that. So incorporating that into curriculum development. So a lot of different things that I've done in the past have helped me come towards a point of where I started Sparkling Mindz and what we do and how we do differently.
Right.
As an engineer, as an MBA graduate, now looking backwards, I feel, both the things taught me how to work with systems very differently, look at people, look at, how do you put together a system to achieve a purpose, right? And the purpose can be anything for any one of us. For me, it happens to be children.
Right.
For somebody, it can be something else with respect to it. Education, right?
Yeah.
So that's a little bit about my journey, and we've been at Sparkling Mindz for 7 years now.
Okay, awesome. So engineering, then MBA. So education. Now I'm thinking, what was the motivation behind starting the school? Because it's not like a general school; it's a unique school.
Yeah.
So what was the motivation behind it? How did that come in?
So the school is a concept that evolved for us.
Okay.
I started Sparkling Mindz with this very clear vision that somewhere children in our education system are not getting what they need to be future ready. Okay. So there are skills that need to be developed in the children which are beyond academics, which are beyond marks, which in the mad rat race are getting forgotten, are not getting catered to. So what you focus on is what you get.
Yeah.
Right. So if the system is geared towards 10th grade, towards 12th grade, marks has to happen, then those skills are not getting developed. You get out of school, your mark sheet won't get you a job.
Exactly.
It won't even get you an interview call. Right? What will get you an interview call on the other hand is communication. Right? Your problem solving capability. Your innovative ideas, right? Your personality, right? How you interact with people, how well you've networked and connected across, right? And for 16-20 years we teach our children not to do any of these things, or rather we don't teach them how to do these things. Suddenly you expect them to learn it all by themselves, right? So the world has changed and our children deserve better. So we started out with the very clear vision that these skills need to be developed in children. Okay. So the school happened in that journey as a process, and in our school today we're very proud to say that we are focusing on these skills instead of only academics. Academics are important. Children need to learn to write exams and do that process, right? But that's not the reason why a child should come to school. A child should come to school to learn to become a better learner. to become confident learners in the future. And that's the success that they will face when they grow.
Okay. Awesome. So let's dive into it. I want to enter the education system in some way or the other. What is it that I should learn? What are some specific courses that people should have in mind that they should go and take up?
So this is a very interesting question I get asked, that sometimes candidates call me and they're like, I don't have a B.Ed, can I apply, right? I don't have an NTT or a Montessori training course, can I apply? Now I just dropped all those names that people consider as courses necessary, right? NTT is, teacher's training, B.Ed is your Bachelor of Education, right? There's a Bachelor of Early Education that you can do. There's a D.Ed, which is Diploma in Education. All of these are courses which are very, very interesting. They're paths to reach somewhere, but the question that you need to ask yourself is actually slightly different, right? You want to get into education. I'm assuming these are people who have stepped out of other career choices and are trying to get into education, right? It's not a straight path. So if you want to get into education, are you trying to do it as a convenient thing? Or are you trying to really make a difference, right? If you're trying to make a difference, you should start with research. Right? Research on what kind of methodologies are out there, what kind of neuroscience techniques are talking about, what kind of children learning is happening. Research on yourself, what do I want to do? How do I want to do? Why do I want to teach in the first place, right? What kind of an educator do I want to be? And there is enough out there to help you, support you through this journey, right? There are groups, we will talk about that, if, depending on who is interested, that there are groups that you can actually access to. There are people who are shifting careers and doing amazing things in the education space. Innovative ideas come from other areas of people's lives, right? So if you've been in the HR field, or if you've been an accountant, if you've been an architect and you want to shift, or a doctor, I've had doctors shift fields, MPhil graduates shift fields, right? Bring your strength to this, right? Children deserve beautiful role models who are experts in their fields and want to contribute, right? Don't just go do a D.Ed or a B.Ed just because I want to become a teacher and forget everything about your learning. That doesn't really help you contribute, right? So I think you need to ask, are you conveniently shifting something just for the sake of timings, or are you contributing? If you're contributing, put in the effort to figure out what is out there, what kind of an educator I want to be, and how do I then get there, right? And the other reality about being a teacher in today's world is you're going to continuously learn. Right? There is no such thing as you've done a course and that's it, right? There's so much to learn, so much to grow. So getting plugged into interesting communities where that kind of growth is happening is going to be where, the future is. For anybody who wants to be an educator, I would suggest first start looking up stuff, start asking yourself tough questions and arrive at those answers to move forward.
Great. I think that answers my next question also, which was like, before, suppose I'm changing careers, the first thing in my mind is that, I don't have this course, I'm not capable, I'm not enough to do that. But that should not be, you're saying, the first thought. The first thought should be the reason why you're going into it.
And you would be surprised at how many places actually accept passionate people. I would accept somebody who is very passionate in a heartbeat versus somebody who has done a course and has no passion towards children. Right? Who do you want your child to be touched by, right? Somebody who is this vibrant, energetic person who looks up new activities and comes and does with your child, or somebody who is like, I have learned these 10 activities, I will do. No, exactly. Right? So the passion matters quite a bit. The courses can be done, right? Great. The courses can be done. In fact, within our organization, we do a lot of upskilling, a lot of training in-house. Because the kind of work that we do is not available as a training course anywhere else. So we do a lot of it in-house.
Okay. So you were talking about online communities and all. So there is, of course, like for any career, now there are so many options online to just join and learn more, even like open courses and things like those. So what are some online tools that teachers can get together, grow together, learn with each other, if you have any options?
So this is very interesting, right? So we actually follow a methodology called Reggio Emilia. It's an inspiration-based community. There are similar communities for Montessori and, early educators and primary educators, etc. Facebook is a good place, WhatsApp is a good place, right? There are a lot of different communities. You need to go online a little bit, poke around that place to find these things. Depending on what you are inspired by, you need to go pick something. So we are very inspired by Reggio Emilia, and Reggio Emilia inspired communities. like blog and they write stuff and they share their pictures and they document and they put things out there. So you need to go subscribe to those blogs. You need to go be part of those group discussions to hear what things are happening. There are interesting podcasts out there for early educators. It's beautiful, right? So what we are trying to do is build a small community of inspired teachers. So anybody who's watching this and is interested, right, could ping in TBI with their numbers and you can put them in touch with me.
Definitely.
And we will create an inspired group of teachers who are looking at learning for the future. Right, getting geared up for the future. You could be anywhere in the world, you could be anywhere in India, it doesn't matter, right? You can be part of that group. In fact, a lot of our parents are interested in being part of that group because they are increasingly realizing that they are also first teacher for the child.
Great,
right?
Awesome.
So so it's very, very essential in today's world for anybody who's looking to touch a child's life to stay inspired, to stay connected, to upskill themselves. There's no excuse for you being an adult in that position, impacting so many lives, to not upskill yourself.
Yeah, true. And what better way to learn than from those people who are already there in the field and working?
Yeah, and sharing inspiration is such a beautiful thing. When I hear stories of the work that people are doing in Australia and US and Italy, and even within India, there are people who are doing Rajumila inspired work.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. You see, okay, wow, there are layers that you can actually, unearth, and maybe we can network together and do things. That inspiration needs to come to the table. I think one of the things that I miss in education industry is that people work in silos quite a bit. Everybody is alone and just trudging along. There's very less networked work that people do. They don't talk to each other that way. It's not looked at, can we build think tanks, can we do something together.
True.
Because at the end of the day, everybody is serving the community. We're all serving children.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I also I used to teach for India for a year earlier, and they used to use this phrase that just share, copy shamelessly. If you see another inspiration thing, just copy it in your classroom and use it.
Yeah.
That's an awesome
Don't
thing.
think it's not invented here, or I didn't think of it, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you talked about timings. Now let's take you. What does a day in your life as the founder of a school, as a person who's running a school, look like?
Okay, since we are a play-inspired, game-inspired school, right? It does look very different from what a typical school otherwise might look like. So I'm going to walk you through my day.
Okay.
We start our day with an inspiration stand-up with the teachers. So everybody gets together and we talk about something that inspires us in the morning for about 15-20 minutes. So everybody's up and fresh when the children arrive.
Right.
And once the children arrive, we set up something called an invitation to play with them. So some materials, it might be a thought, it might be something much more open-ended. The children come in and they play with, right? That's another 15-20 minutes, and then we start with our welcome activity. So what I typically do is I step in and out of classes to see how children are doing, what are they, wherever I am, whichever, we have 3 places in 3 centers, wherever I am, step into classes, I make notes both on children's behavior as well as on how the facilitators are developing. I do try to catch them doing things right, like how are they doing things well. So there's a lot of victory claps and appreciations that facilitators give children, and we, the senior people in the team, give the facilitators, because you sometimes don't know in the spur of the moment you're doing something, is that good practice, is that so you enhance that. So my large portion of my day in the morning goes in catching people doing things right and seeing their patterns if something needs to be fixed. Then I interact with parents if somebody has lined up a conversation or a phone call, or something needs to be done. And then I step into the game design team where we are redoing a certain set, we're iterating through something, or we're taking a feedback from the class, and the game design team also steps into the classes to see how things are happening. So we have the discussion. Post class, again, we sit down and talk about children's patterns, right? What can be done better, what else. I'm part of those discussions wherever I am, and we document all of this and we leave for the day.
Awesome. Great. No, sounds super interesting. Getting into the hard part, when you entered the field, what were the challenges that you faced?
I think one of the biggest challenges that I still face to date is team building, right? So generally there's a lot of commitment related issues that I see with people, like they consider this career as something that women do conveniently, right? And interestingly, women bring great strength and tenacity to the table. They are very tenacious, but the kind of family support or the cultural support that they get is not not to the same extent. So it's seen as a secondary career.
Right.
Which I understand in reality why it's considered that way. But if the time that they were in the space, right, and the mindset started to shift and the perspective started to shift as this is a very important job, right, very very important job, and they need to learn, they need to grow, give them that space, give them that importance, right? If the family, the society, everybody started looking at a teacher as, wow, teacher.
Yeah, you became a teacher.
Yeah, you became a teacher, and thank you so much for doing that, right? That I think would shift how people look at their jobs instead of quit. So people tend to quit for every small reason, right? So somebody is not well, the lady is expected to quit, right? Somebody has to be picked up from school, the lady is expected to take care. Right? The support system is not very robust.
True.
Right? So building a strong team with an organization like that, where we believe in sharing, learning, growing, right, doing all of that, needs strong team members in the system, right? We are in a place, touchwood, right now, where we do have a strong team that is getting built, but I would like more and more inspired teachers, women and men too, why only women, right? To get involved and look at this as a career that way. The second thing is the kind of impact that a teacher creates generally gets limited to a classroom, right? So increasing the impact of the teacher is the only way to increase their salaries. Right? To let them feel the kind of the luxury or the comfort that somebody from a corporate sector feels, right? That I went and did my day's worth of job and I grow exponentially, right? Only can happen if the impact were scaled. So we are looking at ways to scale teachers' impacts, by looking at them as future researchers, authors, right? Who can speak on stages, do amazing things. So they are not just teachers, they are practitioners. And in order for you to be practitioners, comes back to my point one, that they need to be committed to learning and growth. Otherwise, it's not going to happen, right? So taking the career a little bit more seriously.
I know.
I think from my
earlier there used to be this mentality that when you didn't become anything, you became a teacher.
I know, it's so not true. And it's so not true. Teaching requires every ounce of it to, because you have to do justice to those children who are in front of you. Right? And you cannot do wishy-washy work. I think that's just injustice. And I have yet to meet a teacher who joined the organization or any organization saying, I'm just going to come and waste children's time, right? No, right? So they don't do that. No teacher does that, right? It's just that over a period of time, the lack of challenges, the lack of growth, the lack of opportunities, and the way the system and the culture considers it, they demean themselves, which I want to change, so that we can build strong teams and strong individuals who will then impact the future of the nations.
Sure. So I think you have answered this, but before entering the field, people need to keep some things in mind, like challenges, timing, salaries. If you have anything to add to that, what should you keep in mind before you dive into it?
Make up your mind, I think. That you want to be here, right? The rest of it gets taken care of, because compared to a lot of other jobs out there, timing wise, it's actually pretty more convenient than anything else. There is an end time to things, right? You can go home. Getting children out of your head is a different problem altogether, but there is an end time. So if you kind of decide that you want to do this, there are ways to make it happen, right? Build a support system around you. I think that's a very, very important thing. Get a good daycare, right? Talk to your neighbors, get your in-laws, your parents on board on this, right? If there is a sickness in the family, there's some issue in the family, how they look at your career and your job matters. Right? So talk to them about how serious you are and what you want to do. I think expectation setting is also important. Given that there is another expectation in the community, so think about yourself, make up your mind, build a good support system, and work hard, learn, grow, right? We need more inspired teachers. We need a lot of you.
You are an amazing inspiration. Now, if you had to give, lastly, an advice to people who are watching, who want to become educators, like you would give an advice to one of the students in your classroom, how would you do that?
I can pick two.
Sure.
First and the foremost is continue to learn. Look at the journey of teaching as a learning opportunity. That I learn from children, I learn from myself, I learn from the content that I deliver. There is so much research happening out there on neuroscience and artificial intelligence and everything, right? If you stay focused on all of that, there's so much that you can do. Second thing is make good connections, right? Don't deliver anything to children that's just theory, that you've just learned and that's what it is, right? Make good connections, whatever literature, science, social studies, math, whatever it is that you're passionate about. Ask the content, why do you exist, right? What can you do for my children, right? And do justice. I think those two things, if every teacher, they started to learn and they started to make good connections, all classrooms would be wonderful.
That's an awesome suggestion to give to everyone who's watching. Let's see, many people are commenting and appreciating the work that you are doing. We'll look for some questions. Rameshwar has clear idea for future, put in good use. Thank you, Rameshwar. Sanjay Gupta says, I found my purpose in education after teaching for 8 years. Have given up. Neither the government nor the syllabus nor the teaching institute nor the kids actually want to give better. They are not future ready. I think this is one of the things that you answered here about how people get bogged down by the system that's there. Thank you everyone who has left their comments behind. If there are questions here, I'll make sure that I forward those to Sreeja and I'll get them answered. And I'll also put a link to the Sparkling Minds website. If you want to find more information, you can find that there. You can join the groups that Sreeja will start. You can follow her on Facebook, Sparkling Minds page. I'm sure you'll get a lot of information there as well. Thank you once again, Sreeja, for joining me. Thank you everyone who joined today. We'll see you again tomorrow. In the meantime, if you like this video, please make sure that you share it. Ask your friends to like the Better India's page on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel where we are putting up amazing positive stories throughout the day. Thank you again for joining me. Bye.